So I came out today in the woods to do a little playing around, test out a few things that I'll eventually be reviewing. And I brought along my tarp from the company Decathalon to set up just for, well, a little bit more practice. And I thought I'd share it with you. If you're interested, keep watching. Okay, to start with, I bought this tarp myself. It wasn't sent to me for testing or review or anything. And the reason I bought it was, well, honestly, I have some really good experiences buying things from Decathlon. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Decathlon is one of the world's largest outdoor sporting goods retailers. They are primarily in Europe, and I believe they're a France-based company, but they're reaching out now into Canada, and we have a Decathalon store here in Halifax. And I was looking on their website and came across their tarp, and I said $60 Canadian. If this tarp is as good a quality as the other things I've purchased, this would make it a good value. So I purchased it. And yes, it is a really good quality tarp. Now, there are a few features you need to be aware of because it's a little bit different than a lot of the tarps that are out there in the market. But I think you'll appreciate the value that is built into this tarp. Now, as far as specifications go, I'm going to call it a 10-foot by 10-foot tarp, but it's not quite. It is rectangular, but it's like 9.6 by 9.3. So it's not quite a full 10-foot by 10-foot tarp. But honestly, I've set it up in any number of configurations that you would use a square tarp for. You can do plow point, you can do Adirondack, you can do any of those tarp configurations with ease. And this has a lot of tie-outs, as I'll show you in a moment. Now, a few things about it. It is made by the company Solognac, I may well be pronouncing that wrong, and distributed through Decathlon. Now, Solognac is one of the major providers of outdoor items to Decathlon, so I have other items made by Solognac. It is made in China, but is designed by the French company Solognac. Now, materials, it is not a ripstop nylon tarp. It is a polyester tarp, and it is waterproof. It's not ripstop, but it is heavy duty. I'll put the exact materials in the video description for you, as well as the length. It is 1.8 pounds. I think that's 805 grams thereabout. Again, I'll have that in the video description. When it arrives, it's in this flat square envelope of a bag. And like a lot of tarps, unfortunately, once you take it out, getting it back in is all but impossible. Certainly not something you want to do while you're out here in the woods. You just want to be able to stuff it in something, get it home, maybe dry it out, and then repack it. So I have another stuff sack, a waterproof bag over here that I've been carrying it in because, of course, I added a few things to the tarp. I have a ridgeline, I have 4 tent stakes, and I have some tie-outs on the corners that I've added to it. So they take up a little bit extra space. So yeah, I have a different bag. So I won't be showing you the bag it came in, but yeah, okay. What I'm going to do is take the camera off of the tripod and just walk around and show you some of the features as we go. So to begin, it is a camouflage tarp. Now, it's no camo that I easily recognize and put a name to. It may well be proprietary to the company Solognac, but it works nice out here. You can see if I step back far enough into the woods, the way the sun is coming through, this thing would all but disappear in this. Now, this is early fall. It's still pretty much full green. There is a little bit of change of colors in some of the leaves, but yeah, it is a nice camo. And they do market this as a bushcraft tarp. So it's not an ultralight tarp. It is, well, at 1.8 pounds. You can see it's got a little bit of weight to it, but it is quite a versatile tarp. Now, I want to focus in, first off, I'll go around the outside. Like I said, there are 21 tie-outs on this, so there's no shortage. I'll start in the corners, I'll run along the outside, and then there are tie-outs on the center line as well as across the tarp, across the middle of the tarp. So let's just start with the corner one. So reinforced material, this polyester type material. I'm going to be showing you the inside of the tarp because that's important as well. Nylon webbing, bar tacked here, and I put in the little loops so that I make it easier for putting the tent stake in the ground on. But you can see, this is also of interest. They actually provide you instructions on how to set up a tarp. You know, not bad if somebody's grabbing this for the very first time. Oh, there we go. There are the dimensions of it. 116 inches by 110 inches, or 2.95 meters by 2.8 meters. So just short of a full 10 by 10 tarp. Now we'll just follow up Another tie out, another tie out. That's the center line. I actually have this offset in a bit of a, what would you call, lean-to configuration with a bit of a roof. So you'll see the center line, double stitched all the way along. Tie out there, reinforced. Maybe I'll come back around this way so you can see all the tie outs in the center. So this is the ridge line or the center line. So you can run your ridge line on the outside. I have it run on the inside, but I just wanted to show you those. And another tie out here, and that's repeated on the other side as well. Actually, that's it. It's actually sitting on the ridge line right now. Come back around to the end. Again, tie outs running all the way up. Now I have my ridge line set up and attached to a tree here, just to show you. And like I said, I have it set up so that it's in a bit of a porch mode, I guess you might call it. Now, this is a really unique feature for the tarp. I wasn't expecting this at all. It's totally black on the inside, totally black on the inside, which is, you know, not something you expect. Now, I just want to come up on the ridge, see if I can see that. I'm hoping that's showing up. The center line is taped, so it is waterproof taping along there. And there's waterproof taping on each of the tie-out points along the ridge line and down through the side of the tarp. All right, back out from under. Just a quick overview. All right, it was meant to be a short video. I'll set the camera back up and I'll just give you a few thoughts on using it. Okay, so I've owned the tarp about a year and a half, maybe a little longer. I don't think it's been 2 years. I don't take it out every time because at 1.8 pounds, it's a little bit more weight than you need just for a day hike unless you are expecting weather or you do want that wind block or you just want to practice using tarps. But as a tarp that I would use for camping, I would definitely grab this tarp. It's one of my favorite tarps to use because it has so many different tie-out points and that allows you to get so many different configurations. Honestly, a lot of my configurations are pretty simple, like the one I showed you here. It's just porch mode. Now, it's not an ideal place for setup, but the trees I'm in, that's about the only place I could get it set up on a ridgeline wide enough. And even though I don't have the best of ground to lay down on, it provides me wind. I can sit, wind protection. I can sit down there and it's providing me wind protection from behind. Now, the fact that it's black inside, like I said, did throw me a little bit. I'm not used to that. I'm used to seeing through the tarp, or at least having light coming through the tarp. But a couple things I've discovered there. One is that total blackout can in fact be a benefit when you're waking up in the morning or don't want to wake up too early. You don't want to be up at 5:30 when the sun's coming up. You want to stay in your bag a little bit longer. Having that darkness underneath just gives you a little bit more time in the sack, we'll say. So that's just another way of looking at it. However, it has another side to it, and I've seen this reported on a couple reviews of this tarp. People have said because it's not ripstop nylon or for whatever reason, this tarp develops pinholes. Maybe. But like I've said, I've had it almost 2 years. I've only maybe set it up 20 times. It hasn't been set up for a week at a time in a heavy windstorm or rainstorm. But having said all that, I don't see any pinholes. The thing is, they would show. And that's why I'm mentioning this. Even the tiniest of pinhole through that tarp is going to show on that black surface. You may not even see it on a very light gray tarp or some very light green tarp. You may not even see the pinhole through the nylon, but it would show up right away on this. Now, does that invalidate the tarp? Does that mean it's not worthwhile? Not at all. There are lots of tarp patches. Personally, I go the inexpensive route. If I have something like this that develops a hole, clear Gorilla Tape. Clear Gorilla Tape is amazing. It is so tacky and stays on so well and flexes even in the cold that if you carry some clear Gorilla Tape for repairs like on a tarp like this, you're not going to be disappointed. Or you can go with the Tenacious Tape, I think is the other one, which is designed specifically for repairing tarps. I will tell you this, the tapes will stick better to this than they will sil nylon. Sil nylon can be a really challenge for those of you who know if you're trying to sew something to it or glue something down to a piece of sil nylon. It can be a real challenge. Even the Tenacious Tape tends to roll off after a while. Not with this. This one, and it has, because it's polyester, it has very little, almost no stretch to it. So that's another factor to think of when you're setting up a tarp. Now, my paracord will stretch, so if it does get damp, it is going to sag a little bit and you'll have to retighten. but the tarp doesn't, and that's another benefit of this. Okay, I just point all those things out. Do I like this tarp? Very much so. Am I glad I bought it? Yes. Would I buy another? Absolutely. So I would recommend them without question. But if you have any experience with this tarp from Decathalon and it's different than mine, then please put your comments in the comments section, share them with everybody else. I'll be putting the links to where you can purchase this from Decathalon in Canada. Yeah, they will ship internationally as well. So if you're not in Canada, then you can certainly reach out. Decathlon still does the shipping. $60 Canadian for a high quality bushcraft grade tarp. Yeah, that's a good value. So I just put that out there. All right, if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments section below. But until next time, get out and explore and take that path less traveled, because it will make all the difference. Bye for now.